I'm starting with my sketch on a bigger paper. This is Canson Touch. So this word touch means that the paper is rather rough. That's not like in my sketchbook. It's not like just usual mid-tone. This touch means that it is really very very rough paper. My first line, that's the line where I divide the ground from the mountains. Then I'm starting with the mountain. Then I see one more mountain. This mountain has light and shadow and such interesting pattern there. Then down, again up, and some there and there. That's enough, yeah, for the mountains. Then I divide the place for the valley like that. And one more line, I divide the valley and this oranges part, which you can see on the photo from the foreground. Yeah. Also, I see some pattern between the mountains and the valley. So this green goes a bit inside. Like that. And also I have shadows from the clouds on the mountains. And I also will mark them. So these are shadows from the clouds. That it doesn't happen too often, but it happens sometimes that you see the shadows on the mountains. I'm starting to work with pastels. First I start with blue to show the sky. I leave some places for the clouds, like here, for big clouds. So that's just middle blue, not dark one, but just middle, like that. I can make a very thin layer on the places of the clouds, but very thin. After that, I'm taking the lighter blue for the clouds. So the lightest you have. But it should be from the same family, yeah? So blues have different families. I will show you. These are different families. So this is our ultramarine family, this is cerulean family. So don't mix them. Some lighter blue for the clouds. Like that. Now I will blend a bit, but just a bit. I'm coming close to my mountains. I don't want any gaps there. And now I will add some pinkish, very light pinkish, to show the mountains, or the clouds, sorry. You can add also a bit of white, but just a bit, because I don't want that my clouds are important. It's not about the clouds, yeah? The story is not about the clouds. But a bit you can add. I'm just touching in a very easy way. So going to the mountains. I'm using some petroleum color for shadow parts of the mountain. This one, so it's petroleum. Also very easy. I also have shadows here, the same color. And also up, and also a bit here, here, and here. I think that I have two of them. Different. Here around the valley part, I'm adding really very light, because I see this light there. I hope you also see it. And also here. Adding greenish, because the mountain in general is green, but not very bright green. Something like that. And I'm going a bit on top of my shadow, because I do want that they are connected. A bit of blue, especially for the mountains which are behind. And some very light blue for this place to separate the mountains. That's important. Yeah. And now I'm using different colors. For example, when I see a big place of one color, I don't want it, I'm adding something additional. Just even if I don't see it. Yeah. So different colors which you really see there, or you think they're nice for that place. a bit of blending, but just a bit. Adding more light to this place. And now I will add more structure, and after that I'm not going to blend. So I'm using the sharp edge. Some other color could be good, I think, but I don't see any proper color. Some darker. Let's even blue. Just a bit to create this this effect, not just normal hill, but a bit like how do we call them, cliff, yeah, like cliff effect. Some diagonal lines because we see them here. So that's enough for now. Now I'm going further. I'm using also some light here, I forgot. Yeah, this light. Now I'm going to work with the valley, and I'm using brighter green. Accidentally, I'm not covering everything. So I'm leaving gaps. Now I'm using brighter color of greens, and I'm adding also to the places, to the gaps, so to say. Sometimes I'm making horizontal movements, sometimes vertical movements. I'm not blending like in, yeah, like perhaps you get used. So I'm just touching, and one more brighter green. If it's not yellow, that's still green, but very bright green. We don't use them very often. So several touches, they will make the sun in the valley really very bright. Like that. Here I see some not that bright color, like that, but I don't want to have them separated. Therefore I'm adding also some greenish there, and some of that also here. So that's enough. Even a bit. further. Yeah. So now I'm going to make some experiment. Some of you know this. If you have another paper with me, please don't try. Because it's only for touch papers. I want to change the color of the paper for more contrast. And that's the way I'm doing that. This part is not that sunny as this part, therefore I'm working with some darker greens, like that. I leave the place for yellow flowers, but I see really some dark places and I'm using purple there. For the deepest shadows, like that. I will blend it completely. And now I'm starting to work with green. Also horizontal and sometimes vertical movements. And I'm going on top also of this shadow. Now I'm trying to show the grass effect and I'm working with a sharp edge and doing like that. Also some here. Now adding another green which is lighter and the same movements. And here also the same movements, like that. What technique works for rough paper? What do you mean by what technique? For rough pastel paper works any pastel technique, so it's just speaking of the browning. What is browning? I don't know this word. What do you mean? Browning. Could you please explain? Because I'm afraid I don't understand speaking of the browning. What do you mean? So the technique doesn't matter in general. But for example, if I want to change the color paper, I can do that only with the rough paper. I cannot do that with usual paper, usual pastel paper. So that's the only difference, but you can work with blending technique or you can work without blending technique on any paper. So very quick horizontal and vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. So I don't care. I just combine these techniques. But on the foreground, I use more the sharp edge to create the grass effect. Like that. Here are some leaves, not grasses, but leaves, and I'm working more with for the leaves effect. You rub it out. You mean here? Yeah, that's not brown color. That's dark red. So, or like that's something between brown and dark red. Yeah, so for the changing of the color of the paper, you can use only rough paper. That's only the only difference. And now I have place for flowers, and I'm starting with yellow, and I'm starting to make flowers. As we agreed, I'm making more of them. I did more yellow also somewhere in the background to show that there are some flowers. Now I'm using another yellow on some flowers. The flowers, they are just, you are not doing flowers, real flowers. These are just round shapes. And some lighter yellow. So now I continue with grass. And also these moments create the grass effect. From dark, now I'm going to the lighter green. I used it already here, I think. Going close to the flowers, but trying not to go on top. Here I see some a bit dry grass, and I will make it later on. So I'm being accurate to come to the flowers. These are my moments. Also, I'm going to the lighter green. My lighter green, this one. Yeah. But not too much, because I really want that I have some of the light, but I don't want so that everything is too bright. I'm not going any blending technique when I work with grass, because then I lose this structure of the grass. So it's more about really making lines. So now more with white a bit. And I'm going also a bit on top of the previous layer so that they are a bit connected, they're not like separated. And also adding here some lines. When you work with lines, don't make just systematic lines. They should be a bit chaotic because it's the grass. Up and down to create this grass effect. For the leaves, a bit of the light. This grass is dry, therefore I'm adding some light brown colors or some skin colors. To show that it is really dry, that it's not fresh grass. I think that I will use even the lighter color if I find, I think this one also to add now even lighter. I need lighter color, I think this one. But again, not too much. So this is grass. More green around the flowers. And perhaps more flowers. Some even brighter green, like here, just for accents. That's the lightest light, therefore I'm accurate with it. I'm not adding too much. I'm going to add some houses. I see them there. Before I add them, I would add a bit of darker here. Just a bit there. So that the lightest line is in the middle, like here. Yeah, and with white I'm just adding houses. I'm adding also blue to the houses to show the shadow. And a bit of skin color on top to show the roofs. That's enough for the houses. We're not going to work with the details there, etc. Some white also on the flower. on several of them. Some yellow effects I'm making it with a nail. Like that. And like that. So this is a bit inside. I love to add blue, and I will add it here. Some blue accents, just because I love blue, so you don't see it there. But I love how it works together with yellow in this landscape, therefore I'm adding. With the black pencil, I can add a bit of a structure to the mountains, but not everywhere, just being really very accurate, because the mountains are in the foreground and no real details are needed, but just a bit. Some bluish mountain there, I don't care about that because it's not my main mountain. I will add just a bit of snow effect there and there, but just white. So I'm being accurate with the pencil, that's important. Yeah, I remove unnecessary pastels, correcting the houses. So like this, I'm making a small one, and I think, oh, it can be nice for a big format. After that, I'm going to a big format. So that's how it works for me.